Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you so much for the support. And newcomers have joined the channel. I do car reviews, a little bit of DIY stuff, so I do a little bit of everything. And before I continue, most importantly, thank you very much Acura and Honda for allowing me to have this, my first ever Acura press vehicle. I've been living with this for the past week. This is the 2023 Acura Mdx Type-S. This is the most expensive version of the MDX. This sticker's for $76,000 because it's the Mdx Type-S with the advanced package, which has everything, including massaging seats. I'm gonna go over all the tech, the features, the luxuries, and then we'll go for a final drive and conclusion. Stay tuned, that is coming up next. All right, let's talk 2023 Acura Mdx Type-S. This is the most expensive version, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the most expensive, the most luxurious version of the Acura Mdx, and the first ever vehicle from the first ever SUV to wear the Type-S badge. This has adaptive air suspension, which is also a first for Acura. This has a V6 turbo engine making 355 horsepower, 354 pounds-feet of torque. It is a dual overhead cam, made it to a 10-speed automatic, standard super handling all-wheel drive. And let's talk about it. I mean, the Acura Mdx debuted in 2022 with this new design language, which is very nice. It's a complete departure from the previous generation of the MDX. This is a little bit more refined, more upscale. The lighting is a little bit more, lighting is a little bit smaller. So you got LED everything, including turn signals, high beam, low beam. You do have, because this is the Type-S, this is a functional air vents here. You have front sensor, parking sensors in the front. The massive grille, which is also unique to the Type-S, with more opening than traditional MDX. That massive Acura emblem, which you probably can see me on it. There is a 360 camera right above it. You got the little Type-S badge in the front. It has more active functional grille on the bottom, right there. And this vehicle does have fog lights. You can't even see them, but they're there. It does have, like I said, the air suspension. It's adjustable, so you can, based on the driving modes, you have Sport, Sport Plus, you have Comfort, Normal, and Snow. And this particular vehicle is riding on Continental Cross Contact, wrapped 275/40 on 21-inch wheels. This being the Type-S has 14.3-inch rotors, which are huge, and 4-piston calipers in the front, Brembo brakes in the front. They do say Acura, but if you look closely, you see the little Brembo badge right there, and Acura. Overall, very nice. This is one of their signature colors, which is blue. I do like the black mirrors, and this little piece of trim right there all around the car. And let's just look at it, and keep in mind this is a 3-row family SUV, and it's big. It is not small. You can open the doors by putting your hand on the each door handle on all 4 doors, which is nice, and close them. And overall, besides the regular, compared to the regular one, this one, of course, you can tell is a Type-S because it's the only one with quad exhaust. Of course, you got the Type-S badge here on the left-hand side. This color you can get on any Acura MDX, doesn't matter if it's Type-S or not. You got super handling overdrive badge, more parking sensors all around. And I do like this blue and black. It's very bright. There is the back brakes. And overall, it's a very good looking, handsome SUV. You do have a giant panel sunroof, which we'll go over in the interior portion. And let's take a look at the engine bay before we go in and look at the tech, the cargo, and all that fun stuff. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the engine bay of the 2023 Acura Mdx. This, of course, has hood struts, and voila, there is the 3-liter V6 engine. I wish Acura would have dressed it up a little bit more than just a regular non-descriptive cover, engine cover. It would have been nice if it had, like, you know, red lines, you know, say Type-S, you know, something a little bit more spicier, that when you open the hood and you show people that you got the Type-S, that looks a little different than the traditional one. But of course, off the bat, you can see the turbos right here. This is the turbo. You do have this massive air inlet. These are functional, of course, from the grill. And if you look at the hood, this is where the air comes in. It channels it in down to that guy for cooling and stuff like that. Very, very nice. The windshield washer nozzle is way over here, which is interesting. And the battery is in the back. So, all right, let's take a look at the interior, the cargo, and all the fun stuff. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the 2023 Acura Mdx Type-S. And if people next to you don't know if you want to show, it has 2 Type-S badges on each side, which is very cool. So you got one in the grill, one in the back, and you got one in each fender. So you got total of, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 Type-S badges on the outside. And that's great. Of course, this has a little body kit right here. So let's step inside. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, to get in, you could get in 2 ways. You can, of course, use the key. So the key says Type-S in the back. Very nice, glossy back. Acura here on the side. And then here's what the front looks like. So you got engine, start, stop, lock, unlock, and then hold to the trunk. And then, of course, the panic button. All right, but you can get in, just put your hand like so. Mirrors, power folding, unfold. And let's take a look at this interior. It's very, very nice. Very nice materials. You got white leather, Acura calls orchid leather, double French stitching all over the doors. This is rear wood trim, soft padded, somewhat soft, but it is soft. Materials on the doors. You got memory for 3 drivers, so it remembers the mirrors, the seat, and the heads-up display, and the steering wheel, because this is power tilt telescopic. Controls for your power folding mirrors, windows controls, door locks. There is the very fancy ELS Studio signature grill for the speaker, because this vehicle has 25 speakers and 1,000 watts. So let's get inside, because it is a little warm. And there is a little animation and welcome screen, and it says Type-S in the instrument cluster, which is it is a 12-inch instrument cluster, all digital, and a 12.3-inch infotainment screen. So push your foot on the brake. Let's start it. And there's a look at what that looks like. And the main screen is coming to life. Sadly, it is not a touchscreen, and I'm gonna mention my gripe with it. Everything is controlled with this little mouse pad thing computer, which is, it's a bit not intuitive, if I gotta be honest, especially when you're driving. To change menus, you gotta keep swiping left and right. Yeah, it makes a little noise, which is interesting. You got setting controls for your settings, text messages, but this vehicle does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which completely takes over, and you don't have to worry about anything. And you can use your voice for pretty much everything. You do have physical controls for the climate control. So dual zone, of course, climate control, 3-zone, because you have the rear also is controlled here in the front. You have heated and cooled front seats. And as you can see, they're both turned on because they're set to auto. It's only turning on the driver's side, which is very smart, because it knows that nobody's sitting over there, because the sensor is not detecting a human body there. And which is nice. You could lock the rear. You could lock the rear controls. So if you don't want the kids messing with the infotainment, the screen, the controls in the back, you could lock them. You got heated rear mirrors, which is a nice little addition. And button for the engine start stop. The automatic brake hold right here. This is your gear selector. You got park, reverse is this button here, and it shows you the 360 camera. You got neutral, which at that point it switches to the front camera, and drive. And if you press it one more time, it goes into sport, and then you can activate the paddle shifters, which this vehicle does have paddle shifters and 10-speed automatic. And moving over to this side, here you got a nice little cubby for the USB ports. You got USB-C and USB-A, a nice little deep cubby for whatever you want, a key, phone, whatever, volume up and down, power on and off, track forward, backwards. You got Backman, home. You got that this little screen. So if I press the home button here, it goes to that, you know, if it goes back to home. And if I'm scrolling over on this side here, you can see you can start scrolling over, and it shows you different menus and items. Moving down, you have a little armrest, so if you're driving, you can just, you know, put your hand here. It kind of feels comfortable. You do have two decent sized cup holders, wireless charger, and you have a multi-level cubby, so that's the first layer. And then close it, open it again, and you got a deeper level. You do have a USB-A and power outlets, and it's lined in felt, and it does light up at night. And glove box is a decent size, you know, huge glove box. More of that material, real genuine leather here. You have genuine wood as well in the doors. This is also leather and double stitch. Same with for the instrument cluster. And it maybe pick up on camera, but there's a little 0 right there floating. It does have a heads-up display. Happy to report that it will show Android Auto or Apple CarPlay map when you're using each device. You have control for the heads-up display, the tilting right here. You could tilt up and down. You can do the brightness, turn on and off the Acura watch system, traction control, parking brake, and dimmer, and then the emergency e-brake. Moving on to the instrument cluster, you could of course control it. So right now it's set to the advanced mode. So if you go over to this little wheel here on the side, you can scroll to, so it shows you what the super handling overdrive system is doing. You can keep scrolling. It shows you G meter, attention monitor, and then blank screen. And if you keep going, there's the safety systems support. And here in the settings, you can change from miles per hour to kilometer. And then the gauge layout right now is set to advanced. If I switch it to crafted, this is the normal screen, what, you know, default screen looks like. So if you press on the brake, which is hilarious, you can see the little card, the screen actually works. And if you put in turn signals, and even if you turn on the lights at night, it shows you the lights, which is, again, is hilarious. And somebody had a lot of time in their hands to play with that. And sorry, it's a lot of information, but this vehicle has a lot of things to cover. Moving on to the steering wheel, you do have a power on and off button right there. You have a heated steering wheel, volume up and down. This little wheel controls the heads-up display. Also, you could do apps. Might be difficult to pick up on camera, but let me try. If you pick up apps, you can scroll to navigation, phone, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth audio, satellite radio, FM. You could do a lot of stuff up here, which is very cool that they give you all that flexibility. Voice command button right here, back. But one thing you notice missing, which is not a good idea, there is no pick up and hang up button here. And it's frustrating because there's been times I needed to answer the phone, and you kind of have to use this thing side to side like so, if you want to pick up or hang up, which is very annoying and very frustrating. It's just, I don't know why they put a power button here. It could have just been a pickup button, hang up button. Simple. You have the controls here for the cruise control, automated cruise control. Set your speed, distance, on and off, lane departure, lane keep assist, the distance, cancel. Nice little Type-S badge right there, which is nice. And of course, like I mentioned, this is power, tilt, telescopic, memory linked, of course, for 3 drivers. So if I press the memory, The steering wheel goes back to how I had it. You can see. And let's see. Oh, and moving on to the drive modes. So here's the drive mode selector. So if you twist to the right, you got comfort. And the vehicle is actually lowering itself as we speak because it adapts to suspension. You got comfort, normal. You have sport, gives you a nice little graphic. And if you twist and hold, go to Sport Plus, the vehicle is completely. All right, let's take a closer look now of the back row. So just like the front doors, you could, to get into the car, just put your hand in here. You can also lock it. See the little rivets. It has it on all 4 doors, which is very nice. And at night, these light up and shine a little light inside each door handle, which is very nice. So here's a closer look at the door panel. And excuse the sunlight, very, very nice material. The dark wood here. You do, of course, have the sunshade block here, sun blocker, which is very nice. Same double stitching as the front doors. Soft padded materials. Hard in the bottom. You got giant cup holder, bottle holder, glass, whatever. And let's step inside. And like I mentioned, I am 5'8". This is how much room I have. The seat is adjusted to me. You do have 3-zone climate control. So you can control the climate control back here. The seats are heated only, which I'm gonna knock Acura for that. For the price point of this vehicle for $76,000, there should have been cool seats back here as well, not just heated. Hopefully the next version, the 2024 or 26 version of this, adds cooling seats in the second row. But there's a look at the command, the infotainment. Beautiful, very, very nice, very luxurious. The mirror, I forgot to mention earlier, it is auto dimming, and it has the built-in home link to garage opener and stuff like that. You got a nice deep pocket back here, so you can put whatever you want in here. Hard plastic, so this way your kiddos don't destroy the back of the seat. So on both sides, adjustable headrest with this button right here. You do have LED lighting everywhere, pretty much. And at night, this little light shines as a soft ambient lighting. And this lights up here, which I will try to do a night video of this if I can. And there are speakers all over the place. So there's every grab handle, front, everywhere has speakers. There are speakers on the front, which I forgot to mention. I'll see if I show you. There's a speaker right there, which is crazy, right by the feet on each side. There's a speaker, which is insane. Very, very crazy to have speakers like that all over the place. And I just set the thing to heat by mistake. Same on the back. And this is interesting because this is where the center cup holders live. So you got to pull this tab, and then this whole thing comes down. Let me try to do that with one hand. It might be a little difficult to do, but there it goes. I guess you pull it in. So you got a massive 2 cup holders here. You got a little center cubby. The cool thing that I discovered by researching this vehicle and playing with everything, and let me just put this back, is you can completely remove the center portion, which is cool. And you fold it, pick it up, you press this little tab right here like so, and you unlock it, and you can completely remove it. And I'll show you guys in the cargo area, you can completely put it away in the cargo area. And there is more speakers here in the ceiling. This vehicle also has the cabin talk, so you could probably, these speakers are probably specifically for that. You got more speakers back there. Roof mounted seatbelt. But let's take a look at the third seat, the cargo, and then we go for a final drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at, let's get into the third seat. Third row. You can get in 2 ways. You can get in with this button here, nice and convenient, which also eliminates at night, which is very nice touch. And there is the same button back here to get out of the third row. But for now, let's just push this right here, and the seat wolves away. And there's there's a look at that button, the same button in the back of the seat. And again, I remind you, I am 5'8", and it's tight. It's definitely tight back here. Granted that the seat can be slided forward and back. So obviously this is more designed for kids back here. And I don't think these seats are reclinable, but you do have USB-C right here. You do have a cup holder right here. Oddly missing back here is vents. There's absolutely no air vents back here on both sides, which I think is also a missed opportunity on Acura's behalf, because there are vehicles in a complete different category than an MDX, less expensive, that do have vents in the third row, but headroom is a little compromised because let's face it, I have a huge noggin, but that's besides the point. But let me flip the camera around so you guys can see the headroom back here in the third row. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's take a look at the cargo of the 2023 Acura MDX. Let me point out that this vehicle, this generation MDX came out in 22, so same for 23. And I checked the website, and Acura's website, 24 looks identical to this. So if you purchase a 22, it's gonna look like a 23 and a 24. There might be minor changes in colors and trims and things like that nature. So this of course has a powered liftgate, because of course it's a modern vehicle. And there is the massive quad tip, which is very cool and very distinctive compared to the traditional MDX, which has square pipes. All right, so here's a look at the cargo area with the seat folded down. Very, very massive, very big. I will put in the cubic inches here inserted in the screen. You do have a power outlet right here, traditional cigarette style outlet right there. You do have a little grocery bag holder, which is nice right there. And like I mentioned when I was doing the engine, this is where the battery lives. Battery's right here. And this is how you lift the seat. Very simple. You just pull and pull the tab like so. Same for this one. No power, no motorized, simple. And you have a decent size space behind the third row. One cool thing about this lid is, you can do this so it becomes even deeper, which is nice, where I think that middle seat can be stored here, which is nice. I think it'll fit here perfectly. And then if you don't want to mess up your carpet, you can do so, like so, and flip this around. Bear with me and try this one hand. And very cool. It's like it has a nice rough area here on this side, which is very, very, very cool. And you don't mess up your nice carpet. You got tie down hooks here, which is nice on each side. All right, let's take a look. Let's go in the third row of the 2023 Acura MDX. Oh, and before I go, you do have nice little cargo lights right here. And one neat feature that I also discovered that this vehicle has, you press this button here, see a little picture of a man and a tail, and then that means is you walk away like so, and it knows you are away from the vehicle, and it closes. Very nice handy feature. All right, let's take a look at the third seat, and then we go for a final drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, so we're back. So I just flipped the camera around so you guys can see the headroom back here. Very limited, you know, not that much room as you guys can see back here. But let's say for a short trip, you know, you can kind of sit back here and it's not too bad. Sadly, these seats don't recline in any fashion, and that's a shame. That's a missed opportunity also on behalf of Acura. All right, let's take this luxury SUV, the Type-S, Acura Mdx Type-S, for a quick drive and my final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2023 Acura Mdx Type-S. All right, so I'll start in normal mode, then I'll go over to the switch to the modes. And normal mode, the suspension, of course, is always ready. And you know what? Before I go, let me fold down that third seat. So give me guys 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. I couldn't see. Visibility is definitely hindered with the third seat up, especially the headrest. All right, so let's try that again. And off the bat, what I want to say is that this is definitely Acura's best vehicle, hands down. I haven't driven an MDX, so I have reserved judgment. I did drive the Acura Integra briefly, but this vehicle, I don't know how the regular one drives. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I did drive the regular one. But this one definitely feels more substantial than the regular one. It just soaks bumps, especially when you have it in comfort mode. Comfort mode, it just iron out all the bumps. But overall, this drives with presence, very smooth. The steering is it's very communicatively, so excuse me, tongue-tied. And overall, it's good. You know, power is right now. I do notice the difference between this and the regular one. The regular one feels very lethargic and slow compared to this one. This one, of course, being the Type S, it does have more get up and go and oomph. And then if you go right here, let's say we go down to sport mode, you see that everything starts changing. The vehicle is going down, the suspension, so it's getting lower. The steering is a little firmer right now. And if I go even lower to Sport Plus, it's in its most aggressive form right now. And then let's get into the highway. You see the G meter right here on my right side. I don't know if you'll pick that up on camera, but let's go into the highway here. And yeah. Sadly, that engine you're hearing, the engine noise is pumped in. But this thing has balls. Excuse my French. And it goes. It definitely goes. It definitely has power. The suspension does get a little bouncy in Sport Plus, but if you go to normal, then it starts leveling itself off, and it becomes its sophisticated, fancy self, and it's very nice. Like I said, I can't complain. It's been a dream, a pleasure having this vehicle for the past week. But you step on it, there's no delay. That 10-speed auto definitely is geared for performance and quick shifts. You can control them here in the paddles, and everything feels very nice, very well put together. Very minor gripes, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the fact that there's no pickup and hang up button, no ventilated second row seats, and no vents in the third row. It's definitely a missed opportunity for Acura, and it should be available in every trim. No matter, that should not be an option. No matter which version you get. You know, of course, sticker price for the MDX starts about, I believe it's like 48, but I'll show the correct price on screen. You can get a decently equipped MDX with the advanced package for about 60K, or technology package, give or take, about 60K. And you get most of the goodies. I think to get this sound system and the adaptive suspension and the insane level of ambient lighting that this has, almost a la Mercedes level, 21 different options and colors and themes, which is crazy. But it is very nice, and I will do my best to try to do a little quick night video, a night review of all the lighting of this vehicle at night, to see how this looks at night, and give you guys a look of how this vehicle looks at night. But overall, this has been my first review of the Acura Mdx Type-S. Once again, thank you, Acura and Honda, for allowing me to have this vehicle as a press vehicle for the past week. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for watching, for liking, for sharing, for commenting. Please do subscribe. You know, this has been a lifelong dream of mine to do this, and this all would not be possible without you guys liking, subscribing, and giving me the support. And I thank you all for that. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care and stay safe.